If you like to make your NFL games a little bit more interesting, you've come to the right place. It's the Even Money Podcast with Ross Tucker and Steve Fezzik.
Yeah, Vegas, baby, Vegas. It is the Even Money Podcast. We are presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, and we are so fired up for Week 3 in the NFL. I'm Ross Tucker, former NFL offensive lineman, 5 teams, 7 years. Most of you know that. Now I am a color analyst for TV, CBS, radio, Westwood One. This past weekend, I was able to do Bills Dolphins on the radio, Colorado State on TV. I'm actually off on TV this upcoming weekend, so I may or may not be going to the Post Malone concert Friday, Penn State and tailgating Saturday, but then I'm back in the booth Monday night, Westwood One, for the Jags and the Bills. We have a Monday Night Football doubleheader this week, which we will get into. My co-host is the star of the show. His name is Steve Fezzik, long time, 20-plus years, professional sports bettor out in Vegas. Check him out on social media, at Fezzik Sports. I'm at Ross Tucker NFL. We do post this show live typically, I don't know, between 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. We try to, something like that. You can always check the show out at Ross Tucker Pod on any social media platform. That's how you know when it's posted both live as well as the on-demand version. A lot of people check us out on YouTube, which is great, youtube.com/Ross Tucker NFL. And as a reminder, if you want to see the unbelievable information that our Australian sensation, Sean Grady, aka Grades, puts together, it breaks it down by totals, ATS, teasers, all those things. Just go to patreon.com/RT Media. Make sure you pay the $10 a month to be a Tuckheads member. Then you get access to that private Slack channel where you can, by the way, chat with other like-minded listeners or viewers, but also you can see the spreadsheet in black and white. Shout out Kyle Scadella, Brendan Smith, Gerald Bailey, some of our most recent patrons. Patreon.com/RT Media. Steve, here's what we got. We got a couple things new, right? Every week we're going to highlight the good things we did the week before and the bad. And then today we might do a little bit extra, go a little bit longer at the end and get to an email question, because people like to ask you emails. They can send it to me if they take advantage of one of our sponsors, ross@rosstucker.com. So at the end of the show, we're going to go a little bit longer than we normally do so we can get to at least one email question with Steve. For the week, Steve, you were up 4 units. You had a good week. I was exactly 0, dead even. Although, listen, the experienced bettors out there, and we get criticism sometimes for this, but the experienced bettors know if you're even, you're really lost, right? Because of the vig. We understand that. We try to make this show as simple as possible because it's a lot of new bettors. And if you're a veteran bettor, well, then you already know about the vig. You already know that if we say that I was 0, that I really lost money for the weekend, like, you get it, right? It's more about just listening to our picks and who we pick and why. We do have a crowning moment, though, Steve. The DraftKings crowning moment is we were 3-1 ATS in our best bets, including 2 of the underdogs we picked won outright. Vikings were getting 6, they won outright. Browns were getting 3.5, they won outright. You and I had both of them. The Bengals probably should have won outright. That was another win for us, ATS, on a best bet where you and I were together. The only loss we had against the spread was the Titans, who once again had a punt blocked and had Will Levis have an incredible brain fart. So 3-1 is pretty darn good. Crowning moments are presented by DraftKings. Submit your winning bets for a chance to be featured. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Okay, so Steve, on our overall best bets, we were 4-2. we got the teaser that we shared, but then we lost the total on that Seahawks Patriots game. So we'll dive right into it. Bills Dolphins. We had the Bills in teaser legs up to +8. Obviously, that teaser leg was very good. They won the game by a wide margin. The Giants teaser leg came through for both of us. We won on that. Unfortunately, the Rams teaser legs crushed us. Your Lions teaser leg did not work. And the Eagles blew it last night for you as well, Steve. Raiders, Ravens. I leaned Raiders. They won outright. Saints, Cowboys. I leaned Saints. They won outright. Chargers, Panthers. We both leaned Panthers getting the 6.5, Steve. We said they can't be that bad. Steve, they are that bad. They have benched number 1 overall pick, Bryce Young, 2 games into his second year.
Will Bryce Young ever start an NFL game again? If the Red Rifle has a decent year, what do you think, Ross? Is it possible that he's a bench warmer the rest of his career?
I think somehow, somewhere, he'll start another game. You know, Sam Darnold-esque, if you will. But I don't know. Trey Lance is never going to start a game, so you never know. It's a good question. Niners, Vikings, you and I had a best bet on the Vikings getting 6. They won outright. Colts, Packers, we had nothing because of the uncertainty with Malik Willis, although he played better than you gave him credit for. Give Matt LaFleur a lot of credit. Seahawks, Patriots, I took the Patriots getting 3. Steve, it pushed. They were up 3 late, but then the Seahawks tied it, and the Seahawks won by a field goal. Good example where if I was getting my vaunted 3.5, I win. But instead, I was only getting 3, so I pushed. Boy, that under was not good. We had a best bet on the under 38, and they were scoring left and right early in that game, Steve. I couldn't believe it.
You know, I want to speak quickly about the 3.5 on Seattle because sometimes you can get a better number than what we give out, and that was an example. There were some 3.5s out there, so always shop around, and you can steal wins, absolutely.
As a reminder, our lines are always the DraftKings Sportsbook lines at time of recording because I'm telling you, I don't know if we're the ones changing the lines or not, Steve, but a lot of time they change by the end of the day after what we say, and they almost always go in the direction that we say. Bucks, I had 2 units on the Bucks getting 7. They win outright. Giants, Commanders, we both had the Giants in a teaser leg up to 8.5. They probably should have won the game, but the teaser leg covered. Already mentioned Browns, Jags. We both had the Browns as a best bet. They win the game outright. Titans, Jets. So you took the under 42, Steve. Talk about getting the best of the number. It landed on 41. We also had a best bet on the Titans. Just unbelievable series of events that the 4 didn't cover. I mean, I thought worst case scenario, they would lose by 3 and we would, just unbelievable with the block punt, with the Levis brain fart, with the Titans giving up a touchdown, even though the game was tied, and then the Titans, because they gave up a touchdown, going for the touchdown late in the game, as a field goal would have given us a push, but that wasn't the scenario.
Yeah, I guess I couldn't have won my under 42 then, so I'll take the 1-1 and move on. But the Titans, were the right side. I think the Jets should have won by, a very close in margin.
Titans were definitely the right side, as were the Cardinals. You put 2 units on the Cardinals. Were they laying 1.5? They were, right?
It was all over the place. So the Cardinals opened the dog, went to a 1.5-point favorite, and ultimately closed at pick'em. So dueling factions on a game that, frankly, there shouldn't have been because Arizona just destroyed what was left of the Rams. The Rams defense got shredded, and the Rams offense is all hurt.
Bad teaser leg by me. Really bad. Cost me a bunch of units. I had faith in Sean McVay. It did not work out. Bengals, Chiefs, we both put 2 units on the Bengals getting 6. That's another best bet against the spread that hit. Steelers, Broncos. I put 2 units on the Broncos getting 3 points. Bo Nix refuses to let me win a Broncos bet. You leaned under. That hit. You leaned Broncos. Obviously, it did not. Bears, Texans, I had nothing. Falcons, Eagles, I had nothing. You teased both of those favorites, laying 6.5 down to laying half a point. All they had to do was win. Texans came through for you, Steve. The Philadelphia Eagles did not.
Yeah, I think they should have run the ball twice. How about that? 3rd and 3. I saw numbers 98% the Eagles were to win that game. That's a tough pill to swallow when you're 98% to win and you wind up with a loss.
You were up 4 units for the week. I was even. So for the year, I am down 3 units. You are down 2 units. But the best bets are doing better now. Best bets, we are 5-2, hitting at a 71% strike rate on our best bets, which is awesome. Almost as awesome as the fact that I am going this weekend, Friday night, Post Malone concert, Saturday, Penn State game, all thanks to the Game Time app. Thank you, Game Time app, because they have a code MONEY that gives you $20 off your first purchase. Here's the things I love about it, Steve. There's a lowest price guarantee. If you find a better price anywhere, they'll credit you 110% of the difference, and you can see the view from your seat. So for the Penn State game, I never get to tailgate. I never get to go to a game with my family. I'm going to go because I don't have a game till Monday night, and I got to pick the exact seat I wanted. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code MONEY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MONEY for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game Time. By the way, Penn State, if you watch, Steve, their headsets for the coaches are sponsored by West Shore Home, which makes me feel cool because West Shore Home also sponsors some of our shows. And I've gotten a new front door that I got from West Shore Home, as well as 2 bathrooms, including my daughter's bathrooms. And right now, you guys can get free installation with 48 months, 0% interest, plus an extra $500 off. Just visit westshorehome.com/Ross to redeem. That's westshorehome.com/Ross. Number 1, you can see what my front door in my house looks like. Number 2, you can see what the bathrooms look like. Number 3, you can only get that $500 off at westshorehome.com/Ross. Steve, it's week 3. It starts with the Patriots and the Jets. Patriots are getting 6.5 on the road in New York.
Really bad spot for the Jets. Second straight week where they've got a short week of preparation. I'm a firm believer that stacks. Warren Sharp is huge on this. We're a team with a relative rest disadvantage over the last week or 2 weeks. So I can only look towards the Patriots, but I need 7. Just a lean to the Pats at 6.5.
Heavy lean to the Pats at 6.5 as well. The Jets lose Jermaine Johnson, their edge rusher, as well. Total by the way, for that game is a low 37.5. Then we move on to the Giants. They're getting 6 points in Cleveland against the Browns. Total's 38.5. Steve, there's a lot of that this week. A lot of 6.5s. It's a lot of things that just aren't quite good enough to be able for me to take them. And also, a lot of teaser legs this week. It's just the way the board has worked out thus far. I would just probably lean to the Giants getting the points in this one. Your thoughts?
Yep. Same thing as the Patriots. I need 7 with the Giants, so I pass for now.
Another one. Broncos are getting 6.5 in Tampa against the Bucs. Total is 40, Steve.
Sure feels like the Tampa Bay just can't be as good as they've shown, right? That was a phony win against Detroit. Look, they got outgained by like 260 yards. I think 7s might well pop up on this game. I'll probably be interested in Denver then, but I pass.
I would agree. Everything you just said. Broncos, Giants, Patriots. If it gets to 7.5, then I'm interested. Chargers are getting 2 points on the road against the Steelers. Low total 35.5, Steve.
Here we go. Load the muskets. So I love this teaser with the Chargers. Here's why. I'm staring at a 36 total. Really, really low. I also have a great situation. I got the Chargers. They're camping out in whereabouts unknown, somewhere on the East Coast. So they stayed in Carolina. I love that. Now, the Niners did this for years. Teams kumbaya, extended training camp. They can really gel and focus on this game. So I like the Chargers in general anyways. But with that low total, I'm going to tease the Chargers. I'm going to put them in 3 teasers here. 2 weights on all of them. I'm going to tease the Chargers with the Chicago Bears, with the Minnesota Vikings, and Monday Night Football with the Cincinnati Bengals.
Love it, Steve. I'm totally with you on teasing the Chargers, and I got a bunch of teaser legs this week. I got the Chargers up to 8. I've got the Vikings up to 8.5, so that's a best bet. I've got the Bengals down to -2, so that's a best bet. I do not have the Bears. I have Green Bay up to 8.5. I have the Niners down to 1.5, and I have Arizona up to 8.5. I'll mention those again as we move forward. A lot of teaser legs. I'm doing all of them. What do you call it? Round robin or factorial or?
You're doing a round robin teaser. The reason I use factorials, if you want to know how many different combinations you have, warning, danger. Got to go back to school for this. If you're teasing 5 teams, 2-team teasers, the number of combinations will be 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial times 3 factorial. Consult your algebra textbook. Borrow from your 8th grader.
Yeah, I've got 6 teaser legs this week. And don't complain, everybody. We're trying to make you money, and that's the best way to bet them right now. All right, Eagles are getting a point in New Orleans against the Saints. Totals 49.5, Steve.
Yeah, the Saints just can't be as good as they've shown so far. I make the game pick 'em, not enough value, I pass.
When the Eagles were getting 1.5 last night, I would have teased them up to +7.5. That would have been the move in my mind. Texans are laying 2.5 on the road in Minnesota. The total is 45.5. I should have mentioned total 49.5. Eagles Saints. Total's 45.5. You and I both like the Vikings up to 8.5 as a teaser leg at home. They're playing well. Nothing else on that game, right, Steve?
Just a point, and we spoke about this, I believe, last week. I know I spoke on many shows. The Vikings were catching 4, so it's really nice DraftKings has those look-ahead lines, so always be looking at those and thinking about the very next week as well.
Ooh, this is interesting. The Packers are now getting 3, whereas before we started the show, they were getting 2.5. This just changed within the last 5 minutes, so that's a teaser leg I'm getting rid of now, because I'm not going to tease them up to 9. So grades, take away the Packers teaser leg because the line just changed before our very eyes. The total's 36.5. Anything else, Steve?
Just to fair disclosure, I had the Titans listed as a play. I can no longer play them. -3 at -2.5. They would have been a 2-unit play.
Total there is 36.5. Bears,
the Titans
Colts.
are good.
Bears are catching 2. Total is 42.5. You like the Bears as a teaser leg, Steve?
I do. I don't really like either one of the teams, but hey, +2 to +8, such a nice teaser. I love the Charger teaser so much. I'm willing to put in them with other teasers that I don't like quite as much.
I'm going to go in on that with you now and make it a best bet just because I think the Bears defense is that good. So Chicago up to +8. That's another best bet. Carolina's getting 5 out there in Vegas, Steve, against the Raiders with Andy Dalton as the quarterback. Total is 40.5.
So I can only back Carolina, but in my pocket, I've got much better numbers. I agree with the line move. I have a 2-point upgrade to go with Andy Dalton. This line went from 7.5 down to 5.5, so there's been a 2-point movement through good numbers. If I had to bet the game, when you fire your coach, a team plays harder. I think you fire quarterback. You're seeing Adam Thielen throw his hands up in the air. I'm wide open. What are you doing, dude? I think that there will be a big bounce to the step of everyone on the Panthers offense and defense. I could only lean to Carolina.
I'm taking him. 2 units, Carolina Panthers. Andy Dalton is a professional quarterback. Bryce Young had totally lost his confidence. Andy Dalton, I think, is going to go out there. You know who, as you would say, Steve, you know who's not happy that the Carolina Panthers benched Bryce Young? The Raiders. That's who's not happy about it. I'm taking Carolina +5, 2 units. Dolphins are playing the Seahawks. Tua Tagovailoa obviously out, which means it'll be Skylar Thompson. Dolphins getting 5. Totals 41.5, Steve.
2 units on the under 41.5. I've seen this movie before. The star quarterback goes out. The backup comes in. He can't play a lick, but the defense knows they've got to step it up to win the game. So the offense gets ultra conservative for Miami, as conservative as the Miami offense can be. And the defense knows they got to play out of their minds to win the game. Seattle will run the ball under 41.5.
Ooh, I love that. I hadn't noticed that at first. I'm with you. Another best bet under 41.5. Dolphins, Seahawks. I don't picture. Seahawks defense is pretty good. All right. What about the Niners and the Rams? Niners, this line changed too. Niners were laying 7.5. Now they're laying 7. Totals 43.5. It's no longer a teaser leg for me because it's not going through the 7. I got nothing on this game. Totals 43.5.
So there's been lots of studies that the Niners offense, when C-Mac is important, but Debo is the straw that stirs the drink and is critical to their success. So without Debo, I got to feel, and the Niners made some mistakes on offense, so they'll be more careful with the ball. The Rams decimated a wide receiver. They get one dude back from suspension on the O-line, but their O-line's decimated as well. With both offenses compromised, I got to go under 1 unit under 43.5.
Ooh, okay. I like that thought. What about Lions Cardinals? Totals 52.5. The Lions are laying 2.5 in Arizona. Love Arizona as a teaser leg up to +8.5. I think they got a good team this year. I think they're going to surprise people, and I'm getting 8.5 at home against a Lions team that, quite frankly, isn't playing that well right now. That's one of my, right now, 5 teaser legs.
Sure, you know what? Talk me into I want to get some more Bengals and teasers, so you talked me into it. I'll probably bet Arizona +3 also, but let's tease Arizona to the Cincinnati Bengals for one more teaser for me, 2 units.
Another best bet. Love it. Ravens, Cowboys. Ravens are laying a point on the road in Dallas. Totals 49. I got nothing, Steve.
So, frankly, this is a game that should be pick 'em. Either way, I'm going to tease either team if it gets to +1, and it is +1. So I'm going to tease Dallas. I need to use the 6.5 point teaser because I got to get to 7.5. I will tease Dallas to the Bengals -1.5 in a 2-team 6.5 point teaser.
All right, grades. Make sure you grade him accordingly, since once it gets to, because what would that be? -130, Steve?
Yes.
Okay. And then Chiefs Falcons is Sunday night. Falcons are getting 4.5 at home. Totals 46.5. I'm taking the Falcons, Steve. I think this is going to be a close game. I'm taking the Falcons 2 units. I think they figured something out in terms of their running game and their O-line. The Chiefs haven't looked that great. It's been 2 close games. Give me the Falcons 2 units +4.5 at home.
Agreement. I've got the Chiefs only like 4.5 better than an average team right now. And I've got the Falcons as an average team, so that'd make it 4.5 on a neutral. But you know the Dome will be rocking in Atlanta, so 2 units, Atlanta +4.5.
Jags Bills. This was the game I'll be calling Monday night for Westwood One Radio. Bills are laying 5.5. Totals 45.5. I don't think the Jags are this bad. The Bills are beat up. I think this is going to be an awesome game. I think I'm taking the Jags +5.5, 2 units.
I'm going to pass just because that Buffalo win week 1, where they struggled a bit against Arizona, that's looking a little more impressive given what Arizona just did. So because of that, I'm going to stay on the sideline.
Lastly, Steve, Commanders, Bengals. The Bengals are laying 8. Totals 48.5. You and I both like the Bengals there as a teaser leg, teasing them down to -2. Anything else on that game?
Just I have one survivor entry left. First prize is going to pay $14 million, and there's only going to be like three dudes likely that are going to win this thing at latest projections, and the Bengals will be my survivor this week.
Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Listen, we all want to have more money so that we can place more bets. Why don't you save some? Ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. Listen, I got Mint Mobile, and I tell everybody, why not at least try it? It's like a fraction of what you're normally paying. To get this new customer offer and your new 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/even. That's mintmobile.com/even. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/even. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Speeds slower, above 40 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. The great thing about saving money is that you can use that money either to place bets on Steve's advice or to drink some Labatt Blue Lights with your friends and family, living life to the power of we. I might have had 2 of those watching the Eagles game at home last night. Always enjoy responsibly beer. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
The best bet.
It's time to ask Steve. Steve, we're going a little overtime here, longer than we normally do. We won't do this every week, but some weeks we will, because I love when people get to ask you questions. As a reminder, just send any question you have for Steve to ross@rosstucker.com. But if you take advantage of any of our sponsors like West Shore Home or Game Time or Mint Mobile or whatever, you go to the top of the order. So we'll try to do this maybe every week if we can. Hey, Ross, roulette question for Steve. I play the outside only, picking 2 out of 3 sections. Example, I bet the first 12 and second 12 equal amounts. So I only lose if it lands in the third 12 or the dreaded zeros. Is this a good strategy? I'm covering 2/3 of the board, so the odds are in my favor, correct? Would love to hear your breakdown of this. This is from Mac. And Steve, I don't know anything about roulette, so I'm hoping you can handle that, obviously.
Well, his analysis would be spot on if there were no greens on the wheel, because he's getting paid 2-1 to play numbers 1 through 12 and 13 through 24. So each one pays 2-1, and each one would have a 1/3 chance of hitting, and he would break even, and it would be a viable strategy to get great comps and fire away and break even, except for the fact that 2/38 of the time, 0 or double 0 will show up on the wheel, in which case you'll lose everything. So basically, when there's a double green roulette wheel, whether you bet on individual numbers or whether you bet red or black or whether you bet, as your fellow suggested, they all it turns out you're at a 5.26% disadvantage. Every $100 you wagered, you will lose $5.26 unless the wheel is biased, and it won't be, where you're playing. Don't play roulette. Play blackjack, where if you play basic strategy, you're more like a 0.5% disadvantage instead of over a 5%. So think about that. Your money will last 10 times longer before you lose it just playing basic strategy at blackjack than playing roulette.
Wow. I love how you know all the numbers. That was amazing, Steve. Absolutely loved it. Awesome show. Hey, you were up 4 units last week. I at least didn't lose units. Let's have a big week 3. Good luck, everybody. Hope you guys win some money.
Thanks for tuning in to Even Money. Make sure to also check out the Ross Tucker Football Podcast, Fantasy Feast, and College Draft, all on the DraftKings Network, YouTube, or subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform.